175K in top line revenue. How many vehicles?
I think I had 2 vehicles
for the full year.
Yeah. The newer facility, they had a company that they were using, and I went in with the standing the gap spiel, because we were actually picking up a person from their facility for a broker. And I spoke with the transportation company, and they actually agreed, and they end up selling the company to another company. So it was just at a stalemate for like 3 or 4 months. We didn't get any business with them. And because we do stretchers, the new company called us like, hey, you guys do stretchers? And we were like, yeah, because here to use a EMT, stretchers are $1,000, $1,200, $1,600 for a round town trip. And we could do it for a third of that. Long as it's non-emergency, we'll pull up and we'll take care of you for a third of that. And that's one thing I want to talk about. You said, where do I see us in 5 years? That's another area what we're going to do. That's going to take a bigger investment, but what we want to do probably is get 2 to 4 Ford Transits, kind of equipped like the ambulance is, with the new electronic stretchers that you don't have to use your back to lift up. And a woman can go and press the button and load and unload the client. You just have to roll them. What we would like to do is we're the only NEMT company that do stretcher trips in Mobile County. And we service 5 counties. So we're the only NEMT. So if someone has to go to a doctor on a stretcher, they have to call the ambulance. But now they can call us. So what we're going to do is expand that and go to all the facilities and let them know you don't have to call the ambulance service if you have someone that needs to go on a stretcher. If it's not emergency, you can call us. But I don't go to other facilities right now because we only have that one vehicle that we do that with, and I don't want to get overwhelmed or get to a point where we can't service everyone. So when we're ready, we're going to step out, and I know that we can do that because of the amount of money that it would save, and we could save them $800 to $1,000 each trip by using us instead of an ambulance company. So that's one of the next phases that we plan on going into as well.
I like how you have this focus on organic growth for your business, because, not just NEMT, any other industry you go into, people try to bite off more they can chew. That's one of the biggest sources of getting your business in trouble. And you're just on the other side of the spectrum, which is, I think, the right side to be on.
Absolutely. So I have a business partner, and his uncle did NEMT in Virginia. He retired, and I would talk to anybody in the beginning that would give me any information. If they could just point me in the direction. If I got one thing from them, I would just keep my notebook, write down everything, keep my notes together, and use what could benefit us. Or if it was something that I know could hurt us, I would make sure that I would highlight that and stay away from it. But he was doing NEMT at a time where his facilities, they didn't use brokers. They just billed straight to the insurance companies. And when I spoke with him about my plan and how we were doing things, he said, man, look, you don't need anything from me. You just need to execute. He said, you got a great plan, and what you're doing is going to work. But he told me one of the big thing that I got from him was the organic growth. He said, look, I know companies that were out there that we were dealing with, they were making $2 million a year. They would have 8 or 10 vans that were making $1 million a year, and they would go out of business in 2 years because their growth wasn't organic and it was poor management. You know what I mean? So they may be making $1 million, but they have $950,000 of overhead. I don't want to do that. That's spinning my wheels. You know what I mean? So one of the things he told me, he was like, look, man, just make sure your growth is organic. Keep your overhead down, and always think about the next phase. Me, and this was a prayer of mine, I pray this all the time, that I ask for multiple streams of income within the same industry. And when something hits me, it's like, oh man, why didn't I think of that before? And, because I've just taken it step by step, and we find a way to do it. So, man, we have a lot ahead of us, a lot to accomplish. We have a lot of plans. I kind of try to keep them under wraps until the actual, it's an actuality. So, man, we have big plans for the future. We're taking it step by step, though.
I like it. I dig it.
I was looking forward to this, and my wife was, she was like, she wanted to come. So I'm going to come and record you. I said, it's going to be on YouTube. You can watch it. You can watch it there. But she was just like, hey, you got this. Go and, represent us and, just do well, because I know that you will. We had a company meeting yesterday. It went great, in our vision, and the people that I'm grateful for, that my staff, most of my people have been with me since I started bringing people in. And because you just have to treat them right. You don't want to underpay people, because they're going to be looking for somewhere else to go, and they're going to also do an okay job if they don't have that character, that high character, that moral compass. They're just going to you don't want people to come to work to get a check. You want people to like what they do, and then also thinking this job is worth me keeping it. So, you want to try to compensate people accordingly. You're dealing with grown people, and you want to try to pay people a salary that's not going to hurt the company, but allow them to take care of their family as well. So we try to pay people what they're worth. I don't know if you could use it, but I had a friend of mine growing up. He just say, hey, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So, you got, so you want to pay people according to what, how you respect them,
I like that. You pay peanuts, you get monkeys. I'm going to use that.
So, but I mean, if I can help anybody, because here's the thing with me, I saw what it was. I saw how difficult it was to get any information. It was like pulling teeth. You could not get any information on anything. So I had to do a lot of deep research. If I can help people with good information, because a lot of people get into this industry and get out, and some get in and they struggle because they don't have the correct guidance. Me, you're not gonna outwork me. I've always been the same person. I'm up before you up. And by the time they get out of the bed at 9 or 10 o'clock and moving around at 11 or 12, I'm on to tomorrow, because I'm up at 4:30 or 5 every day, and I stay till the job is done. So you're not going to outwork me. I'm going to work. I'm going to work efficiently. I'm going to figure out what I need to figure out for the business. And, I lead by example. So, if I can help someone miss the hurdles that I had to cross, then I would. One thing I would do different probably is just, I would probably start with a wheelchair van. That's ambulatory and wheelchair, because I could have made so much more money faster. But, my first year, we did great. We did great. We did really good. Our first year, we did almost $175,000. And one broker, I think we made about 90,000, almost 100,000 from one broker, and without getting fair rates. Now think about this. We were not getting paid what we should have been getting paid, and we still did a lot of money. But I was working from the top of the day to the to the evening alone.
$175K in top line revenue. How many vehicles?
I think I had 2 vehicles
for the full year.
Yeah. I got my first wheelchair van in December of 22. And we didn't start using it until almost February, because in December, all the rides out, all the brokers slow down. and you got the Christmas holidays. Then you have the New Year's holidays. So appointments kind of crank up again around the second week of January, going into February. So, that I was basically doing all ambulatory trips, and we made good money. I learned how to negotiate as well. That's another tool. Like, don't, get your worth. If don't overcharge, don't undercharge, don't beat yourself. You have to charge a rate that's fair. And if you're giving a fair rate and you're going to give great service, just stick to that. Sometimes they might just say, okay, let me find someone cheaper, and they might do that. But that's okay. They'll be back. Because if your service is great, the people that you transport, they're going to request you. We get requests. We can't fill all our requests. If you look at some of our broker lists and with the trips that they send over, you'll see in the comments, client requests Premier Transit. Client only wants to ride with Premier Transit, and we can't even service them all. And that's a great problem I have.
You're in a good spot.
I'm so excited about this year.
Me too.
Next year, this time, man, we should be in a great space. If the growth continues at the rate it is, and in the expansion into the other areas, man, I'm looking so forward to just completing things this year.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. But I'm happy for you guys, because the industry needed Bambi. We needed a user-friendly but not popcorn, because I've seen apps that were so simple that they were like, this is not going to work. This is not good. You know what I mean? It was too cheesy. And I've seen them that were like, you have to do chemistry and algebra to figure out the formulas of how to use this stuff. That's not good. And I've seen them where everything's an add-on. It's $50 a vehicle. It's $50 to add the driver. It's $50 to add the maps. It's $50. So for each vehicle, you're looking around, you're paying $300, $400. You can't afford that in this industry. You can't pay $250, $200, $300 for one vehicle in the software to run your company. So one of the major companies that I looked at, they were so expensive. I kind of liked the software, even though it was a little complicated when I did the demo with the live Zoom with the person. But when I got started figuring out the factors, and I was a new company at this time, it was like $50 per vehicle. Then it was $50 to add the driver to that vehicle. It was $50 to add like notifications to the client that you arrived, to use the maps, when I looked around, it was like almost $300 per vehicle. And you're a new company, you just can't afford that, so they're overpricing what they do. So, and I'm already thinking ahead. At this time I had 2, maybe 3 vehicles, and I'm thinking, man, that would be $1,000, $800 a month just for routing software. And I'm not going to do that, because, at the end of the year, I'm going to have 6 vehicles, with the way that we were making progress and adding on to the company and reinvesting. And I'm like, just adding up. I'm like, no, that's just going to be too expensive. So when I saw you guys on the MJ podcast, and I, clicked on the link and I talked to Max, and when he gave me the price, I almost didn't believe it. I said, okay, so what else goes with this, So he gave me the price per vehicle, and that's it. And that's, I was like, okay, so I'm waiting on these hidden. Now, if you want to add a period, it's going to be another $50. If you want an exclamation point, I was waiting on all that, but that wasn't the case. And I was like, okay, well, man, well, let me make sure the software is good. Make sure that this can work for us. And I was like, all right, man. That's why I never did. I feel like, God always lead me in the right direction, because I pray for the best direction to take the company in. And I think I never jumped on any other software and just did it myself, because I was waiting on the right one. And you guys came, Bambi came, and it was, I knew it was right from the very beginning. You're affordable, user-friendly. My back office learned it fast. My drivers can use it well with the app, and I like the guys. You guys are not 100%, but you're 90 something. And any suggestions that we have, you guys like, hey, we're working on it. A lot of times I say, I might have a suggestion and you're already working on it. You know what I'm saying? You're already working on getting it done. So, I look forward to just growing with you guys and continue to work with you guys, man. I love what you're doing. Just stay affordable, stay reachable, and continue to put the companies first, because we're gonna make sure you guys are great. But Bambi's gonna blow up, man. When more people learn about your company, these other softwares are in trouble. That's my opinion, and I know good when I see it.
Run, Bambi, run.
Run, Bambi, run. My people already asking, they're like, oh, I want to see it. I said, hold up, we got to record it first.
How many back office staff you got?
We have a total of 8 people with drivers in office. That's all.
And
some of us, about 2 of those, they maybe drive 1 day a week, or one guy's retired and he may not even drive this month, just here and there plug in. So, we basically running with about 6 people.
Our Run Bambi Run button?
Mm-hmm.
Do you use that on a regular basis?
So Max asked me that the other day, and I have a scheduling background. So I do use it. The way I use it is, okay, I know all my clients. So I know that this person needs this type of van. This person likes to go with me. This person, you know what I mean? So this person has because you got to know what you're doing. The electric wheelchairs, they're 400 or 500 pounds. So if you have somebody that's bariatric that may be 275, 300 pounds up, your lift has an 800-pound capacity. You know what I'm saying? So you may have to send the other vehicle.
Yeah.
So if you have certain people that ride in certain vehicles for certain reasons, what I would do is just go ahead and place them where they need to be placed. And then I didn't know about this when Max told me about the lock feature, where you can lock those trips, because if you place them where they want to go and then you use Run Bambi Run, it'll rearrange everything. It'll move them. So they're like, hold up, I thought I had Miss Johnson with me. Now he's over here with John, or over here with Mike, and I know I put them here. So you have to lock them in. Once you set people that have to go with certain places or certain vehicles, lock them in, then use Run Bambi Run, and it'll kind of do everything. Then you may have 1 or 2 trips that you may have to place yourself, because when you have wheel calls, what I recognize with Bambi is when you have wheel calls, it kind of uses wheel calls like it's a definite time, so it won't put a trip in that time, but you can move them over there because most wheel calls are not going to be at that time anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way I use Run Bambi Run, and I didn't know until this past week when Max told me about the lock feature, to go ahead and lock the trip in, then use Run Bambi Run. That makes it easy. So yeah, I will use it under those pretenses. And sometimes if I look at the list of what's going on and I don't have, it's always somebody that I have to place, because somebody's in an electric wheelchair, somebody has an attendant going with them. They may be, it's some people that I have to place, but rarely I don't have to put anyone in a specific vehicle or time or with a specific driver. But if not, then I use Run Bambi, just let it kind of do its thing, and then I'll place anything else that's left where it needs to go. Or those are the ways that I use it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Good to know. Yeah, just curious to know, because I mean, this is one of the first things that we built, and just curious to know like how much of the heavy lifting you let it do on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's a great concept. Me and my wife and even my partners or some of my people, they always tell me, even with other businesses, whatever I'm doing, that I like to do all the work. You know what I mean? I just feel better about me doing things. I'm not a micromanager, but I am a manager. I want to make sure that things are like they're supposed to be. So in the beginning, I didn't use it as much because I would just schedule everything, because I'm used to scheduling. But it was much faster than typing everything into Excel, moving around, based on time and all that type of stuff. So even once we had the trips in, I would make sure like our dispatcher, our back office put all the trips in for those days, and I could go in and I would just go ahead and schedule. but now I'm using it a little more as I got more comfortable with the software, and I'm seeing the pros of it, so I use it a little more, but it's not like I don't just 100% use it. I don't think nobody can if you have specific clients that have to ride in specific vehicles, specific times with certain drivers or whatever, that this guy may handle this person better, have more experience than the new guy. I need to send, this person. So, you may not be able to 100% use it. Once you put people where they're supposed to be, then you can use it. But I started to use it more as I got more comfortable with Bambi. Yeah.
Okay, good to hear. Yeah, it was never going to be like 100%, but the idea is like, hey, it can get you 90% there and cut down a lot of the time you spend every day. So it's good to know that, it's actually, working for you.
Yeah, it's getting me home earlier. I mean, for real. And if I stay late, I can be working on something else. Not that, you know what I mean? Not trying to schedule trips for tomorrow, or, doing everything by hand. It just became once we started to hit the 7,500 trip a week threshold, I just couldn't do it anymore. I could do it, but I knew I needed to find a software that worked, a dispatch software that was good for us, that worked for us. And man, I'll tell you, my wife and I have been talking about it for months anyway, but in that 2 weeks prior to running into the MJ's video on YouTube and about the Bambi situation, I was just like, we were almost every day like, hey man, we got to find some software. We got to, because it was a couple that we were considering. And when I saw this and I told my wife, I said, hey, check this out. And she's like, oh, when are you going to talk to him? I think that's the one, so the rest is history, man. I'm so glad I found you guys, man, because you're affordable, you're user friendly. Like I say, we hired a young lady. Last week, she started Monday, and we started showing her how to input trips, how to move things around when the drivers will call in. And Tuesday, I didn't have to show her too much. I mean, she's a smart girl, smart young lady. She's a college student. But still, it's not like a huge learning curve at all. And that's important.
You are Bambi's marketing team. That's it, Derrick.
Just don't forget about me when you guys blow up. When you blow up and the prices change, grandfather me in. You can use me for whatever you want. Just stay affordable.
Deal.
All right. I got you on tape.
Hold me to it. This is recorded right now.
This is a recorded conversation. Yes. My wife told me to ask you that, and I'm gonna tell her. He agreed. We're grandfathered in. Run, Bambi, run. Run, Bambi, run.
Do that again.
Run, Bambi, run. Run, Bambi, run.
Great.